What's going on up there could be the most important event in history. You're talking about physical contact and proof from another system, another planet, another intelligence. That's got to be the biggest event in history, and it's real and it's there. I'm convinced that what I saw is absolute proof of that. There is no way we could have created those systems. There's no way we could have made the disks, the power supplies, anything to go with them.
Bob Lazar's assertions about element 115 are among the most talked about in UFO and conspiracy theory circles, largely due to their intriguing blend of advanced alien technology and secretive government operations. Lazar claimed that during his time at the S4 facility near Area 51, he encountered alien spacecraft powered by element 115. This element, he argued, was central to the craft's propulsion systems, enabling them to manipulate gravity and perform maneuvers that defy the laws of physics as we understand them. He described element 115 as a powerful energy source, used not only for propulsion, but also to power various systems within the spacecraft. One of the more striking aspects of Lazar's narrative is his claim that element 115 had stable isotopes, contrary to the highly unstable moscovium isotopes discovered by scientists in 2003. Lazar suggested these stable isotopes had a significantly longer half-life, making element 115 a practical energy source. He even hinted at a depth of knowledge about different isotopes of this element, some stable and some not, suggesting a level of interaction that goes beyond mere speculation. Additionally, Lazar's story is steeped in notions of covert government knowledge. He alleged that the US government had been in possession of element 115, and consequently the technology it powered, long before its recognition by the scientific community. He linked this possession directly to the government's alleged retrieval and study, possibly even reverse engineering of alien spacecraft. These claims have fueled numerous conspiracy theories, suggesting that the government has secret knowledge about extraterrestrial beings and technology, often cited in discussions about UFO cover-ups and clandestine government projects. While Lazar's claims are undeniably fascinating and have captivated many, they remain unverified and are frequently met with skepticism by the scientific community.
I am telling the truth. I've tried to prove that.
The primary reasons for this skepticism are the lack of empirical evidence supporting his claims and the inconsistencies between his narrative and established scientific knowledge. Now here is where things get interesting, which add credibility to Bob's claims of element 115. The discovery of moscovium happened after Lazar was talking about it for some time. Back in 2003, a group of Russian and American scientists, working together at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Dubna, Russia, made a remarkable breakthrough. They managed to create this new element using a particle accelerator, which is a bit like a super-powered microscope that can see atoms. They did this by smashing together atoms of americium and calcium. Think of it like a cosmic game of pool at an atomic level. This creation was initially named ununpentium, a bit of a tongue twister, right? But later it got the name moscovium as a nod to the Moscow region where it was discovered. Now moscovium isn't quite what you'd call a stable element. It's incredibly unstable, actually. The isotopes, which are like different versions of the element, don't last long. We're talking milliseconds to a few seconds. This makes it pretty much unusable for anything long-term. Imagine trying to use a battery that only lasts a few seconds. Not very practical, right? It's also super radioactive, so you'd need some serious equipment and safety measures to work with it. Here's where things get a bit more Hollywood. Bob Lazar, a name you might have heard, had some pretty out-there claims about element 115 long before it was officially discovered. He said it was a stable, energy-rich element used in alien spacecraft he allegedly saw at a secret facility near Area 51. Now, scientists have raised their eyebrows at this because moscovium is nothing like what Lazar described. It's super unstable, and not something you'd find powering a spaceship, or anything else for that matter. There's also been a lot of chatter about Lazar's background.
Well, they're trying to make me a non-person. Well, the schools that I went to, the hospital that I was born at, past job, and essentially nothing comes up with my name in it.
He claimed to have worked at some pretty prestigious places, but when people checked, there were no records of him there. It's a bit like saying you played for a famous football team, but there's no record of you ever being on the team. So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, the discovery of Moscovium is a big deal in science, showing us new things about the atomic world. Bob Lazar's story about using gravity waves for alien spacecraft propulsion is something straight out of a sci-fi movie, and it's been a hot topic for those interested in UFOs and unexplained phenomena. He claimed that while working at this secret S4 facility near Area 51, he saw alien spacecraft that used gravity waves for movement. Imagine spacecraft twisting and warping space-time itself to zip around at speeds faster than light, doing things that would leave our best aircrafts in the dust. That's what Lazar talked about, a kind of technology that's like nothing we have or even understand today. Now, he linked all this to element 115, saying it was used in a reactor to create these gravity waves. The idea was that this element could somehow generate a massive gravitational field, letting the spacecraft control gravity waves at will. But here's the catch: the real element 115, known as Moscovium, is nothing like what Lazar described. It's super unstable and breaks down incredibly fast, so the idea of it being a stable, long-lasting power source doesn't really hold up. Lazar's claims take a real leap from what we know about physics. Today's science doesn't support the idea of manipulating gravity for propulsion. It's a fascinating idea, sure, but we just don't have any evidence or technology that can do this yet. It's like he's talking about a whole different realm of physics, way beyond our current understanding. While theoretical physics does play around with concepts like warp drives and bending space-time, these are still in the realm of theory, not something we've actually seen or made happen. The discovery of gravitational waves back in 2016 was a real game-changer in astrophysics. It's like we had this incredible prediction from Albert Einstein about how massive objects like black holes could send ripples through space-time. And then, suddenly we had the tools to actually see these ripples. The Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, or LIGO for short, played a huge role in this. They have these ultra-sensitive setups in Louisiana and Washington that can pick up the tiniest distortions in space-time caused by gravitational waves passing through Earth. What's really cool is how they first detected these waves. It was from two massive black holes way out in space, about 1.3 billion light-years away, smashing into each other. The collision was so powerful that it sent these waves across the cosmos, and the precision of LIGO's instruments is mind-blowing. They detected changes smaller than a proton's diameter. This discovery kicked off a whole new way of looking at the universe, adding gravitational waves to our toolkit alongside the usual telescopes that observe light. But here's where things get a bit tricky. Bob Lazar and his claims about using gravity waves for powering alien spacecraft. His story is quite different from what LIGO found. Lazar talked about artificially creating and controlling these waves for space travel, which is a whole different ballgame. The gravitational waves LIGO detected are natural occurrences from colossal cosmic events, not something we can make or harness for zooming around in space. In the science world, Lazar's ideas about using gravity waves for propulsion don't really line up with what we know and can do. We're still at a point where manipulating gravity waves like he described is beyond our reach. It's one thing to detect these waves from cosmic events. It's quite another to create and control them for space travel. While physicists do play around with theories of warp drives and bending space-time, it's important to remember these are still in the realm of theory. Bob Lazar really stirred the pot with his tales about Area 51 and this mysterious S4 facility, didn't he? So let's chat about what he said and why it's got people talking for years. First up, Area 51. It's real, that's for sure. Tucked away in the Nevada desert, it's part of the Nevada Test and Training Range and run by the US Air Force. The place is shrouded in secrecy, which you can imagine has sparked all sorts of wild theories. Some people think they're testing experimental aircraft and weapons there, while others go full sci-fi, believing it's all about aliens and their spacecraft. What really put Area 51 on the map was Bob Lazar spilling the beans in the late 1980s. Before then, it was pretty much just known to the military and local folks. But Lazar's stories, they turned it into this epicenter of alien conspiracy theories, making it a household name and the subject of countless TV shows and movies. Now, Lazar's claims about this S4 site near Area 51 are where things get really juicy. He claimed he worked there, at an even more top-secret place than Area 51. According to him, S4 was all about reverse engineering alien tech, focusing on how their spacecraft zoomed around. He even described this place as having these hangars built into a mountain, with doors camouflaged to blend in with the desert. Inside, he said he saw actual flying saucers and the big bombshell. Lazar claimed he saw alien spacecraft at S4 and talked about their propulsion systems, mentioning this mysterious element 115 as their power source. But here's the thing, no one has been able to prove any of this. There's been a lot of back and forth, but no solid evidence to back up Lazar's tales of S4 or his encounters with alien tech. The US government, for their part, has kept mum about any S4 facility. While they admit Area 51 is a thing, they haven't given any credence to Lazar's alien stories. And despite the lack of hard evidence, people can't get enough of these stories. They keep the mystery of Area 51 alive, fueling endless speculation and fascination with what might be hidden away in the Nevada desert. In the realm of UFO enthusiasts and those intrigued by the extraterrestrial, few names stand out as much as Bob Lazar. This unassuming figure burst onto the public scene in the late 1980s, presenting a narrative that would challenge the general consensus on UFOs and spark countless debates.
Flying saucers, flying discs.
Bob Lazar wasn't always synonymous with UFO lore. In fact, by profession, he was a physicist. According to his own account, he was hired to work in a secret section of Area 51, the United States' most infamous and secretive military base. The facility, named S4, supposedly housed projects that were not just top secret, but also otherworldly. The essence of Lazar's story revolves around his claims that he was recruited to work on a project involving the reverse engineering of alien technology. He described a scenario where human scientists, like himself, were attempting to understand and replicate the advanced technological marvels that were purportedly recovered from extraterrestrial visitors. This wasn't just about stealth aircraft or advanced weaponry. This was technology from the stars. Bob Lazar's revelation was more than just a personal account. It was a challenge to the US government's stance on UFOs. It was a direct claim that they not only knew about these visitors, but had tangible physical proof of their existence. To some, Lazar became a hero, a whistleblower lifting the veil on one of the biggest cover-ups in human history. To others, he was seen as a hoaxer, weaving an intricate tale for attention or perhaps other motivations. Over the years, his credibility has been both supported and attacked, with factors such as his alleged educational background and employment history becoming points of contention. However, whether one believes in the veracity of his story or not, Bob Lazar's impact on the world of UFO research and popular culture is undeniable. He opened a Pandora's box of questions, many of which remain unanswered to this day. One of the most compelling parts of Bob Lazar's story revolves around his description of a fleet of 9 flying saucers. These weren't just models or simulations. Lazar claimed that these were actual extraterrestrial craft stored at the S4 facility near Area 51. Each of these saucers, according to Lazar, had its own unique design and size, suggesting either different alien civilizations or various models from one advanced extraterrestrial race. The craft were not just for observation either. Lazar stated that he was given limited access to one particular craft, which he codenamed Sport Model. This saucer was sleek and smooth, shaped like a classic UFO, and had an interior that appeared both organic and biomechanical. Inside the Sport Model, Lazar described the absence of any traditional human-designed controls like buttons, switches, or levers. Instead, the craft was operated by a series of molded seats and panels that seemed to respond directly to touch and intention. Everything about its build suggested that it wasn't constructed for human physiology. The absence of right angles, the seamless nature of its construction, and the smooth metallic surfaces all hinted at an engineering knowledge far surpassing our current understanding. More intriguingly, Lazar claimed that these craft utilized a propulsion system that was not just advanced, but entirely alien to our current scientific understanding. He talked of a power source referred to as element 115, which was used to generate gravity waves, allowing the saucers to essentially fall in the direction they wanted to travel. This method of propulsion, if true, would revolutionize our understanding of physics and space travel. But where did these craft come from? Lazar didn't claim to know their exact origins, but he did suggest they were part of a long-standing back-engineering project by the US government, the aim to decipher the technology for potential military and scientific applications. Throughout his many interviews, the consistent nature of Bob's descriptions about these 9 mysterious crafts has been a cornerstone for many of his believers. It either lends credibility to his tale or showcases a deeply intricate and unwavering commitment to his narrative. Regardless of where one stands on the spectrum of belief, the story of the 9 sources is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating pieces of UFO lore in the modern era. Bob Lazar's tales from his alleged time at the S4 facility delve into more than just descriptions of physical craft. They provide a glimpse into technology that, by his account, defies our current scientific understanding. One of the core tenets of Lazar's revelations is that the propulsion systems of these extraterrestrial craft operated on principles that we have yet to fully grasp in terrestrial science. He frequently spoke of element 115, which at the time of his initial disclosures had not been synthesized or identified in the periodic table. This element, according to Lazar, served as the fuel for these spacecraft. It's not merely about using it as a source of energy, but it's the manner in which it supposedly manipulated gravity that stands out. The crafts didn't just fly in our conventional sense, they generated their own gravitational fields, allowing them to warp and bend spacetime. This mode of travel would mean that rather than moving through space, space itself would move around the craft. But how can one even begin to control gravity, a force we're only beginning to understand? Lazar described devices within the craft known as gravity amplifiers. These, combined with the use of element 115, were said to produce a gravitational wave focused by 3 distinct cylindrical structures underneath the craft. The implication here is significant. Mastering gravity would open up possibilities not only for space travel, but also for how we understand the very fabric of the universe. Furthermore, the craft's interiors, as per Lazar's account, were just as enigmatic. Without conventional controls or recognizable interfaces, it's postulated that the craft might have had a direct connection with its pilot, suggesting a biomechanical or even telepathic mode of operation. The cockpit of the sport model craft he detailed was devoid of sharp angles, and everything seemed to be molded from a singular seamless material. This design approach raises questions about the manufacturing techniques of these supposed extraterrestrial civilizations. How can a civilization craft object without seams, joints, or evident assembly lines? The truly intriguing aspect of Lazar's claim was that, at the time he made it, element 115 did not exist on the periodic table. It was a supposed material with properties that sounded straight out of a science fiction novel. Skeptics quickly seized upon this, using it as fodder to debunk Lazar's tales. However, in a twist of scientific advancement, the element was synthesized in labs in 2003 and added to the periodic table, known as moscovium. However, it's crucial to point out a significant difference between Lazar's claims and the scientifically synthesized version of the element. The element 115 produced in laboratories is highly unstable, decaying rapidly, and not showing any of the marvelous gravitational properties described by Lazar. Lazar anticipated this discrepancy, asserting that the stable form of element 115, the one with the unique properties he described, was likely found in regions of the universe with different star production mechanisms than our own. Bob Lazar's discussions on element 115 serve as a linchpin to his broader narrative. While the scientific community's version doesn't directly validate his claims, its very existence provides a tantalizing hint that there's still much about the universe we don't understand. Whether you view Lazar as a whistleblower or a fabricator, discussions surrounding element 115 demonstrate the fascinating interplay between fringe claims and mainstream science. As the years have passed, debates have raged over the validity of Lazar's claims. Yet, his consistent and detailed accounts of technology beyond our understanding continue to fuel discussions in both scientific and UFO enthusiast circles. Whether one views him as a whistleblower or a storyteller, the tales he has spun serve as a captivating exploration of what might be possible beyond the limits of our current knowledge. In the dynamic world of UFO stories, testimonies, and whistleblowers, it's not uncommon for accounts to evolve, get embellished, or even get retracted as the years roll by. Yet there stands Bob Lazar, a singular figure whose story has remained consistent since it first broke into the public consciousness in the late 1980s. What adds weight to Lazar's claims isn't just the detail in his revelations, but the unyielding consistency with which he's presented them, irrespective of the audience or the format, be it radio interviews, documentaries, or casual conversations. From the moment Lazar came forward with his astonishing claims about extraterrestrial technology at Area 51's S4 site, skepticism surrounded his narrative. Critics and debunkers came out in droves, armed with a myriad of reasons to dismiss Lazar's claims. They cited a lack of concrete evidence, questioned his educational and professional background, and often painted him as a fabricator seeking fame or financial gain. However, in the face of such overwhelming scrutiny, where many would falter or revise their statements, Lazar's central narrative about the alien crafts, their propulsion systems, and the secret workings of S4 have stayed the same. Time, as they say, is the best judge. Over the 3 decades since Lazar's claims were made, certain aspects of his story have received unintentional validation. The existence of element 115, once a crucial but fantastical part of his tale, became a reality when scientists officially added it to the periodic table in 2003. While our synthesized version of the element differs from Lazar's descriptions and its stability is fleeting, its very discovery gives pause to even the most ardent skeptics. Lastly, it's worth noting the personal cost to Lazar. Coming forward with such a narrative, true or not, puts one in the crosshairs of public opinion and often personal and professional alienation. Lazar has expressed on numerous occasions his regret about coming forward and the impact it had on his personal life. If his objective was fame or financial gain, one would expect him to double down, to produce more claims, to keep himself in the spotlight. Yet Lazar did the opposite. He receded from the limelight, rarely giving interviews, and maintained his initial tale. This behavior contrasts sharply with those who spin stories for personal gain. It begs the question, why would someone maintain a hoax for over 3 decades, especially when the personal toll is so high? Diving into the cosmos with the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, is like opening a book to the very first chapters of the universe. We're talking about a journey back in time, nearly 13.8 billion years. It's mind-boggling, right? The telescope, with its cutting-edge tech, has caught a glimpse of galaxies that were around just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. Imagine that we're looking at the universe's cosmic dawn. Now, the secret behind this incredible feat. It's all about the massive mirror and ultra-sensitive instruments. They're like super-powered cosmic binoculars, picking up faint infrared light. You see, as the universe gets bigger, the light from these distant galaxies stretches into infrared wavelengths. That's something even the Hubble telescope couldn't quite grasp, but JWST, it's tailor-made for this kind of cosmic detective work. And here's the exciting part. By studying these ancient galaxies, astronomers are piecing together the universe's early days. We're learning about the formation of the first galaxies, their evolution, and even getting hints about dark matter and the very first stars. It's like uncovering the universe's oldest secrets. But it isn't just about looking far, it's also about looking close, relatively speaking. It examines the structures of these galaxies, their shapes, sizes, and how bright they are. This isn't just cool to know, it's crucial. Understanding these features helps us figure out how galaxies come together and the complex structures they form in the universe. The James Webb Space Telescope can study the atmospheres of exoplanets. It's like James Webb is our cosmic Sherlock Holmes, uncovering clues about distant worlds. One of these worlds, a real showstopper, is WASP 96b. Picture this, a hot gas giant, about 1,150 light-years away. It's not your typical neighborhood planet. So what's so special about WASP 96b? JWST took a really close look at its atmosphere, and guess what? It found water vapor, carbon dioxide, and maybe even more. This is huge. We're not just talking about random gases, we're talking about the building blocks of life as we know it. This kind of discovery is like finding a secret map to potentially habitable worlds. How did JWST pull this off? It's got some serious gear on board, like the near-infrared spectrograph. Think of it as a cosmic prism, breaking down the planet's light into a rainbow of colors. This isn't just for a light show, it's how scientists figure out what's in the planet's atmosphere. It's like decoding a message from the cosmos. Now let's zoom out and think about the big picture. Finding water vapor on a planet so far away is like a sign pointing to the possibility of Earth-like planets out there. It's a game changer in the search for life beyond our solar system. Every discovery JWST makes about these distant atmospheres brings us a step closer to answering one of humanity's biggest questions. Are we alone in the universe? You know, the universe is like this massive cosmic nursery chock full of stars being born. It's a process shrouded in mystery, or at least it was until the James Webb Space Telescope came along. This incredible telescope, with its infrared eyes, can actually peek through the dense clouds of dust and gas where stars are born. It's like having X-ray vision into the universe's star-making factories. Now let's talk about baby stars, or protostars as the boffins call them. These are stars in the making, just beginning their cosmic journey. They start out in these thick molecular clouds, collapsing under their own gravity. It's like watching a cosmic dance, with each step leading closer to a fully formed star. The telescope watches these baby stars closely, giving us a front-row seat to their growth and the start of nuclear fusion, the process that makes stars shine. But wait, there's more. Around these young stars you often find accretion disks, these swirling, spinning disks of gas and dust. It's from this cosmic dough that planets, moons, and other celestial bodies are baked. JWST's observations of these disks are like reading the recipe book of the universe, showing us how planets and moons come to be. The action in these stellar nurseries is pretty dynamic too. JWST's got the tech to capture all the drama, gas flowing, jets shooting out, and winds blowing from these young stars. It's like a cosmic show, with each event playing a part in forming stars and planetary systems. And then there's the matter of what these nurseries are made of, their chemical makeup and temperature. This is key to understanding what it takes to make a star. JWST's giving us this information, helping us piece together the cosmic puzzle of star formation. Let's talk about something explosively cosmic, supernovae and their remnants. Imagine a star, not just any star, but a massive one, reaching the end of its cosmic journey. This is where the James Webb Space Telescope takes the stage, giving us a front-row seat to one of the universe's most spectacular fireworks, a supernova. So, what happens when a star goes supernova? It's like a colossal cosmic explosion, bright and powerful, marking the grand finale of a star's life. But that's not the end of the story. What's left behind is a supernova remnant, a sort of cosmic aftermath. JWST captures these remnants in stunning detail, revealing expanding shockwaves and the material a star throws out into space. It's like watching the universe recycle itself in real time. Now, why are these remnants so fascinating? By studying them, astronomers can unravel the life stories of stars, especially the big ones. We get to understand the events leading up to the explosion and the star's final moments. It's like piecing together a cosmic detective story where each clue reveals more about how stars live and die. But there's a bigger picture here. Supernovae are like cosmic factories, churning out elements like carbon, oxygen, and iron, the stuff we and everything around us are made of. JWST's observations trace how these elements are cooked up in the supernova and then scattered across the universe. We're talking about the very building blocks of life and planets. The aftermath of a supernova can be pretty wild too. Depending on the star's original mass, you might end up with a neutron star or even a black hole. JWST gives us hints about these mysterious objects often hiding in the heart of supernova remnants. It's like catching a glimpse of the universe's most enigmatic characters. And here's where JWST's infrared prowess really shines. It can see the colder, distant, and dust-covered features of these remnants, stuff that's invisible in other wavelengths. This means we're getting a complete picture of a supernova's legacy. But wait, there's more. JWST can do time-lapse observations of these remnants. Imagine watching the evolution of a supernova remnant over time. It's like a cosmic time-lapse video, showing us the physics of shock waves and how the expelled material dances with the surrounding space. Have you ever heard of the cosmic web? It's this massive, mind-blowing network that basically holds the universe together. And guess who's giving us an unprecedented peek into this cosmic masterpiece? Picture the cosmic web like a giant spider web, but instead of being made of silk, it's made of galaxies, galaxy clusters, and these mysterious filaments of dark matter, all woven together across the vastness of space. And between these threads, huge cosmic voids. It's the grandest scale of the universe, and JWST is our ticket to understanding it. So how does JWST do this? It's all about its cutting-edge infrared capabilities. They allow it to see the faintest, most distant galaxies, ones that are so far away their light has been stretched into infrared wavelengths because the universe is constantly expanding. These galaxies are like the breadcrumbs leading us through the cosmic web. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. A big part of this cosmic web is something we can't even see: dark matter. This stuff is like the universe's invisible scaffolding. JWST's observations are key to mapping out where this dark matter is and figuring out how it influences the formation and evolution of galaxies and their clusters. Looking at the cosmic web isn't just about seeing the universe's current state, it's like a journey back in time. It helps us understand how the first galaxies came into being and how they were arranged in the early days of the universe. We're talking about unraveling the history of cosmic structures over billions of years. And then there's the whole thing about feedback processes. It's like a cosmic conversation between galaxies and the space around them. JWST studies how galaxies interact with the intergalactic medium, the gas and other stuff floating between galaxies. This is crucial for understanding how galaxies grow and change within this massive web. Let's delve into something truly otherworldly: planetary nebulae. These incredible cosmic phenomena that the James Webb Space Telescope is exploring in ways we've never seen before. Think of planetary nebulae as the grand, colorful final act in a star's life. When stars like our sun get old, they puff out their outer layers, creating these stunning shells of gas and dust. And they're not just pretty to look at. They're a key part of the cosmic cycle. Now, with its amazing infrared vision, is like a cosmic detective with X-ray specs. It can see through the dust that often hides the heart of these nebulae. This means we get to see the intricate structures and compositions of these celestial objects in exquisite detail. It's like uncovering a hidden treasure of the universe. But why do we care about these planetary nebulae? Well, they're like the storytellers of the universe, narrating the final chapters of a star's life. Studying them helps us understand what's in store for stars like our own sun. We get to see how they shed their outer layers and what kind of cosmic legacy they leave behind. And it's not just about the stars, it's about the stuff of life too. Planetary nebulae play a huge role in spreading elements like carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen across the galaxy. These are the elements that make up planets and, well, us. So by studying these nebulae, we're learning about how the building blocks of life are sprinkled through the cosmos. But here's the thing: every planetary nebula is unique. The observations show us this incredible diversity and complexity. We're talking about symmetrical patterns, intricate filamentary structures, and a kaleidoscope of colors. Each one of these nebulae is a cosmic work of art, and they all have a story to tell about the physical processes that shape them. In a way, JWST is not just showing us these amazing sights, it's helping us piece together the life story of the universe, one planetary nebula at a time. And let me tell you, each revelation is more fascinating than the last. The universe is a gallery of cosmic wonders, and we're just starting to explore it in all its glory.
If it goes through the keyhole, it will hit us April 13th, 2036. The chances of this now, our data tell us, is several in a million. But there are people who buy lottery tickets with worse odds than that, expecting to win. It'll hit Santa Monica, it'll explode, 50 feet tsunami, 5-story tall, that will come to the west coast of North America and basically wipe it clean.
Imagine cruising through a vast space minefield. That's pretty much what Earth is doing every day. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a big shot in the world of astrophysics, gets the heebie-jeebies when it comes to asteroids. And honestly, it's easy to see why. These aren't just the stuff of epic sci-fi movies, they're real, and they're out there zipping around in space. We're talking about chunks of rock and metal, leftovers from the solar system's early days, some of which could be on a collision course with our planet. But what exactly are we dealing with here? Well, it's a mix. You've got asteroids that are no bigger than pebbles, and then you've got the big kahunas, ones that are the size of mountains or even larger, and they're all just floating around in space, following their paths around the sun. The thing is, their orbits can be a bit like a pinball machine, unpredictable and at times downright dangerous for Earth. These space rocks are fascinating in a way. They're like time capsules holding secrets from billions of years ago when our solar system was just taking shape. But they can also be a bit scary. After all, a big enough asteroid smacking into Earth could be bad news. We're talking about potential global consequences, from tsunamis and earthquakes to climate changes that could really shake up life as we know it. Have you ever thought about the times Earth has played cosmic dodgeball with asteroids? Let's talk about some of Earth's most dramatic run-ins with these space rocks, starting with a biggie, the Chicxulub impactor. Picture this. About 66 million years ago, a giant asteroid, about 10 kilometers across, comes hurtling towards Earth. It crashes into what's now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, and boom! It unleashes energy like billions of atomic bombs, creating a crater 150 kilometers wide and 20 kilometers deep. The aftermath? A global climate shakeup, and about 75% of Earth's species, including the dinosaurs, say their final goodbyes. Fast forward to a more recent event, the Tunguska explosion in 1908. This wasn't a direct hit, but it was still a showstopper. An asteroid or comet fragment, maybe about 50 to 60 meters wide, bursts in the sky over Siberia. The blast, with the power of 10 to 15 megatons of TNT, flattens a whopping 80 million trees across 2,150 square kilometers. That's an area bigger than some major cities. And get this, there was no crater found. Scientists think the object just blew up mid-air, about 5 to 10 kilometers above the ground. The Tunguska event is a bit of a cosmic wake-up call. It showed us that these space rocks can be pretty sneaky and unpredictable. It wasn't like we had a heads up to brace ourselves. This unpredictability is why keeping an eye on the sky for asteroids is super important. You never know when the next big one might make an unwelcome visit. Let's get into the fascinating world of asteroid tracking, where scientists become cosmic detectives. Imagine trying to keep tabs on space rocks cruising through our solar system, some of which might get a bit too cozy with planet Earth. This task is a blend of astronomy, physics, and some serious sleuthing. So how do you track a hunk of rock zipping through space? First, you gotta spot it. Scientists use beefy telescopes, both chilling on Earth and orbiting in space, to catch a glimpse of these celestial wanderers. Once they've got an asteroid in their sights, it's all about measuring where it is, how bright it is, and how it's moving compared to the stars. This info helps work out the asteroid's orbit, speed, size, and where it might be heading. The process, called astrometry, is like celestial cartography, mapping out the positions and paths of these space rocks. But spotting an asteroid is just the start. Predicting where it's going to be in the future is a whole other ball game. It involves some hefty math and computer simulations. Scientists juggle the laws of how celestial bodies move and toss in factors like the pull of gravity from other planets, the asteroid's own twirl and shape, and even how the sun's heat gives it a gentle nudge, something known as the Yarkovsky effect. One of the big players in this game is NASA's Near-Earth Object Observations program. These folks are on a mission to find and track at least 90% of the near-Earth objects out there that are 140 meters or more in diameter, the kind of rocks that could really ruin our day if they hit us. Then there's the European Space Agency's Hera mission, gearing up for a 2024 launch. Hera's going to take a close look at the Didymos asteroid system and its little buddy Dimorphos. It's like a follow-up gig to NASA's DART mission, which is testing out if we can actually shove an asteroid off its course by ramming a spacecraft into it. But here's the kicker. Tracking asteroids isn't a walk in the park. There are loads of them we haven't even found yet, and some are tough to track because they're small, dark, or zipping around super fast. Plus, space is huge, and asteroids are like needles in a cosmic haystack. Have you ever thought about how Earth has had some really close calls with asteroids? These near misses are like nature's warning shots, reminding us that we're just a tiny part of a vast, dynamic universe. Take the Chelyabinsk event in 2013, for example. This was a real eye-opener. A relatively small asteroid, just about 20 meters across, came out of nowhere and exploded over Chelyabinsk, Russia. The blast was massive, releasing energy around 30 times greater than the Hiroshima bomb. It wasn't just a light show, the shockwave broke windows and even damaged buildings, injuring over 1,000 people. It was like a scene from a movie, but very real and pretty scary. This event showed us that even a small space rock can pack a massive punch, but Chelyabinsk isn't the only time Earth had a narrow escape. Let's rewind to 1908, the Tunguska event. An asteroid or comet fragment blew up over Siberia, flattening about 80 million trees over a massive area. It's like Mother Nature showing off her power. More recently, in 2021, we had asteroid 2001 FO32, about 900 meters in size, cruised by Earth. It was 2 million kilometers away, which sounds like a lot, but in space terms it's pretty close. What's tricky about these cosmic wanderers is that they can be hard to spot. They're like stealthy space ninjas, small, dark, or sometimes hidden by the sun's glare. This makes predicting their paths quite challenging. Scientists are constantly on the lookout for these elusive space rocks. Projects like Pan-STARRS in Hawaii and the Catalina Sky Survey in Arizona are like our cosmic watchtowers. They're scanning the skies, trying to spot any potential threats. And then there's NASA's NEOWISE mission, using an infrared space telescope to find asteroids that might be too dark for regular telescopes to see. But here's the catch: our tech isn't perfect. We're pretty good at spotting the big asteroids, but the smaller ones, like the one that hit Chelyabinsk, can slip under the radar. With millions of these small near-Earth asteroids zooming around, it's a bit like finding a needle in a haystack. Now let's wade into the mysterious world of asteroid impact conspiracy theories. It's a place where wild speculation meets a sprinkle of imagination, and sometimes it can clash pretty hard with scientific facts. These theories have a bit of everything, from hush-hush government secrets to alien shenanigans. One popular tale you might hear whispers about is that governments or big space agencies, like NASA, are sitting on a goldmine of secret info. They supposedly know about a doomsday asteroid on a crash course with Earth, but are keeping it on the down low to prevent mass panic. It's a theory that could be straight out of a thriller movie, but when you shine the light of science on it, it kind of falls apart. Here's the thing. Keeping an eye on asteroids is a huge international effort. We're talking about a network of observatories and agencies all around the globe, constantly watching the skies. Keeping a secret of this magnitude under wraps, highly unlikely. Then there's this other out there idea. Some asteroids zipping through space are actually alien spacecraft or probes under the watchful eye of extraterrestrial beings. It's a theory often fueled by the weird shapes or paths some asteroids take. But in the world of astronomy, these oddities usually have more down-to-earth explanations like natural erosion, cosmic smash-ups, or just the simple tug of gravity. And let's not forget about the theories that suggest some shadowy groups or governments are cooking up secret plans to either weaponize asteroids or use them for some sort of space-age power play. While the idea of redirecting asteroids is a genuine scientific pursuit, the notion of using them as cosmic weapons is more sci-fi than science fact. It's important to remember that these conspiracy theories, as entertaining as they might be, can sometimes cast a shadow over the real, critical work happening in asteroid tracking and planetary defense. This field is all about open collaboration and sharing knowledge. Scientists from around the world team up, share their findings in peer-reviewed journals, and keep databases like the Minor Planet Center up to date with the latest asteroid orbits. Plus, there's Asteroid Day, an annual event where space experts gather to spread the word about asteroids. It's all about education and transparency, showing just how open the field of asteroid research really is. So while it's fun to entertain these space rock conspiracies, the truth is often more grounded and collaborative. It's a global effort where scientists are the real heroes, working hard to keep our planet safe from any unwelcome cosmic visitors. What if I told you that we're actually cooking up plans to save Earth from a Hollywood-style asteroid catastrophe? It's true. Scientists and engineers are working on some pretty cool strategies to deflect a rogue asteroid heading our way. This isn't sci-fi anymore, it's real science in action. Let's start with the big guns, nuclear deflection. Now, this isn't about blowing an asteroid to smithereens like in the movies. Instead, it's about setting off a nuclear explosion near the asteroid to gently push it onto a different path. It's like giving the asteroid a little nudge away from Earth. This could be a game changer for dealing with big asteroids, but it's also a bit controversial. There's the whole unpredictability of nuclear blasts in space and the risk of breaking the asteroid into smaller, yet still dangerous pieces. Then there's this super cool idea called kinetic impactors. Think of it as playing interstellar billiards. We send a spacecraft to smash into the asteroid at high speed, which changes its course. NASA's got this project called DART, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, where they're actually going to try this out. They're planning to whack a spacecraft into an asteroid's little moon to see if they can change its orbit. It's like a real-life experiment to test out our planetary defense skills. Another nifty idea is the gravity tractor. Picture a spacecraft just hanging out near an asteroid for a long time, using its own gravity to slowly but surely pull the asteroid into a safer orbit. It's a slow and steady approach and less likely to break the asteroid apart. But it's a bit like watching paint dry, it takes a long time. And get this, some folks are thinking about using solar sails or even lasers to push asteroids away. These methods are more about gentle nudges than big shoves. Solar sails use the pressure of sunlight, while lasers would vaporize part of the asteroid to create a little jet stream, pushing it off course. These ideas are still in the early stages.
Why don't you throw in asteroid defense? We need some of that. We just have a fast-moving object is kind of like a bomb when it makes contact.
Fire one of those 18,000-mile-an-hour bolts.
Correct. And then the thing blows to multiple bits.
Have you ever heard about Bob Lazar? Yes, the same man who sparked the worldwide curiosity and conspiracy theories surrounding Area 51, extraterrestrial technology, and the mystery Element 115. He claims to have worked on reverse engineering alien technology in a secretive base called S4 near Area 51. But how did a supposed physicist from the Midwest end up at the heart of one of the most enduring UFO narratives of our time? And why does his story continue to fascinate us today, decades after he first brought his claims to the public? Let's delve into this cosmic conundrum together. Bob Lazar, a name that sends ripples through the world of UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Born in 1959 in Coral Gables, Florida, Lazar moved to New York during his childhood. He's held a lifelong fascination with science and technology, particularly with jet engines and explosives, and his exploits even led to some minor run-ins with the law. But what truly thrust Lazar into the spotlight wasn't his penchant for pyrotechnics. It was his extraordinary claims in 1989, when he came forward in a televised interview, introducing himself to the world as a physicist and declaring that he had worked in a clandestine facility near the infamous Area 51. This location, he said, was called S4, tucked into the Emigrant Valley and sheltered by the Papoose mountain range. According to Lazar, S4 was the hub of a top-secret operation that focused on reverse engineering alien technology. He claimed to have been part of this covert program, working directly on 9 extraterrestrial craft, each one with different exteriors but identical interiors. His role, he stated, was to help understand and reproduce the incredible technology that powered these vessels. This claim, as outrageous as it was, caught the public's attention. UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists pounced on Lazar's story as proof of the US government's knowledge and involvement with extraterrestrial beings and their technology. But his story also drew skepticism from many others, leading to an ongoing debate about the truth of Lazar's claims, his background, and the very existence of S4. It's this controversy that continues to fog Lazar's story. S4, a location etched into the minds of UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike thanks to Lazar. But what was the nature of the work supposedly conducted at this elusive location? Let's delve into what Lazar described as his experiences there. At S4, according to Lazar, the mission was clear yet unimaginably complex: to reverse engineer advanced extraterrestrial technology. He described the alien craft as sports model flying saucers, powered by a device he referred to as the Element 115 reactor. This mysterious element, which he claimed was not of our planet, allegedly generated a gravity wave that propelled the spacecraft. His role, as part of the back engineering team, was to try to understand how these flying saucers worked and to explore the possibility of duplicating their technology using earthly materials and scientific understanding. It was an intricate task that demanded a fusion of physics, engineering, and a lot of conjecture. But Lazar also spoke about the intense secrecy and compartmentalization that characterized the operation. Each project team at S4 was kept in the dark about the other team's work, minimizing the risk of information leakage. Even within the teams, knowledge was strictly on a need-to-know basis. Furthermore, Lazar claimed that the US government had fabricated academic and professional records to discredit him if he ever broke his oath of secrecy. Indeed, when his claims reached the public, Lazar found his background under intense scrutiny, with critics pointing to discrepancies and lack of verifiable records. But in spite of all the skepticism and controversy, the details of Lazar's account continue to captivate many who are willing to ponder the possibility of a secretive government program focused on alien technology. It's a tale that adds another layer to the intriguing tapestry of UFO lore. Bob Lazar's academic and professional credentials have been the subject of intense debate. His claim of having degrees from the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, two of the most prestigious institutions in the world, was met with incredulity and skepticism. When investigators attempted to verify Lazar's educational background, they hit a wall. There were no records of Lazar having attended, let alone graduated from either of these universities. Critics argue this effectively discredits his claim of being a physicist, thus calling into question his alleged role at S4. However, Lazar claimed that his records were deliberately erased to discredit him and suppress the explosive information he disclosed. It's a claim that's difficult to prove, but fuels the intrigue surrounding his story. Lazar's supporters point to his undeniable scientific and technical knowledge, arguing that he couldn't have gained such understanding without substantial education. Additionally, Lazar also claimed to have previously worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory, a top-level research institution in New Mexico. Initial checks turned up no employment records, but an old phone directory did list a Robert Lazar employed by a subcontractor. Furthermore, a news article from before the controversy featured a picture of Lazar standing next to a jet car he claimed to have built, and the article referred to him as a physicist with the Los Alamos Meson Physics Facility. This tug-of-war between Lazar's claims and the verifiable evidence forms a significant part of the Lazar narrative. It's a maze of mystery, sprinkled with apparent contradictions and unanswered questions, stirring the minds of UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike. One of the most extraordinary claims Bob Lazar made revolves around an element he referred to as Element 115, which he said was used as the fuel for the alleged extraterrestrial spacecraft at S4. Lazar's description of this element's properties seemed fantastical at the time. He claimed it was capable of generating a gravitational field when excited and could be used for gravity propulsion. This was said to enable the craft to distort gravity around it, allowing for what would appear to us as incredible acceleration and maneuverability, not to mention facilitating travel across vast cosmic distances. He suggested that these distortions in gravity were the reason why observers often reported UFOs as making rapid direction changes and accelerating at unbelievable speeds. In the early 1990s, when Lazar first made these claims, there was no official recognition of element 115 in the periodic table. However, in 2003, scientists were able to synthetically create a super-heavy element with an atomic number of 115. Named Moscovium, it was not as stable as Lazar had claimed element 115 was, and it certainly did not exhibit the gravity-defying properties he described. Nonetheless, this development sparked renewed interest in his story. Additionally, Lazar detailed the design and functionality of the alleged alien spacecraft. He claimed they were powered by a gravity reactor, which utilized element 115 to generate a gravity A wave. The spacecraft allegedly had 3 gravity amplifiers, which could focus the gravity A wave to allow the craft to essentially fall in any direction, explaining their seemingly impossible maneuvers. The technical and detailed nature of Lazar's claims, whether fact or fiction, have undeniably captured the imagination of many and have significantly influenced the discourse around UFO technology and potential alien propulsion methods. Today, Bob Lazar's story continues to divide opinions and provoke debate, with many still questioning the truth of his assertions and the validity of his credentials. The lack of substantial, verifiable evidence has kept many skeptics unconvinced. Yet there are others who believe his account, drawn to the consistency in his narrative and the specific technological details he provided. Lazar has largely withdrawn from the public eye, but made a significant return to the spotlight with the 2018 documentary Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, directed by Jeremy Corbell. In the film, Lazar stands by his claims, expressing frustration and discomfort about his unique knowledge and the ensuing disbelief he has faced. The documentary has brought his story to a new generation, sparking renewed interest and debate. Some points that have kept his narrative alive include the official acknowledgement of Area 51 by the US government in 2013, more than 2 decades after Lazar first brought it to public attention. Moreover, the US Navy's confirmation of several videos showing unidentified aerial phenomena performing maneuvers that appear to defy our understanding of physics has led some to speculate about the kind of technology Lazar described. In recent years, a renewed push for transparency on UFOs from certain sectors of the US government and military, culminating in the 2020 release of previously classified UFO footage, has added fuel to the discussion surrounding Lazar's claims. While none of this conclusively proves Lazar's story, for some, it suggests that the world might be closer to accepting the existence of technology and knowledge that is currently beyond our comprehension. And so, as we stare up at the night sky, pondering our place in the cosmos, the story of Bob Lazar continues to challenge our understanding of the universe and our place within it. Despite the skeptics, despite the controversy, his tale echoes with our innate desire to explore the unknown and to comprehend the incomprehensible. So next time when you look at the stars twinkling above, ask yourself, could it be that we've already touched the cosmos in ways we can't fully understand or accept? Just
Space, vast, mysterious, and beautiful. For many, it's a symbol of exploration and the potential of the human spirit. But there are corners of the universe that, if you were to visit, you might wish you never did. These locations are enough to give anyone a strong dose of astrophobia, a fear of space. Let's dive into some of these awe-inspiringly terrifying regions of space. The Buddha's Void, often referred to as the Great Nothing, is one of the largest known voids in the universe. A void, in cosmic terms, is a region of space that has a significantly lower density of galaxies than the surrounding areas. The Buddha's Void stands out particularly because of its mind-boggling emptiness. This vast expanse spans approximately 330 million light-years across, and while space is generally thought of as being relatively empty, the size and extent of this void are far beyond the norm. To give a perspective on its enormity, our entire Milky Way galaxy is only about 100,000 light-years in diameter. If you were to travel across the Buddha's Void at the speed of light, it would take you 330 million years to cross from one side to the other. But what makes the Buddha's Void even more mystifying is its stark emptiness. While you might expect thousands of galaxies to be present within such a vast space, researchers have found only about 60. That's shockingly sparse. The discovery of the Buddha's Void has challenged our understanding of the universe's large-scale structure. Why? Because it doesn't easily fit into the cosmic web theory, where galaxies are connected by filaments and nodes of dark matter, creating a web-like structure. So how did such a vast void form? There are several theories. One idea is that smaller voids merged over time, resulting in this supersized void. Another theory posits that this region of space experienced a much lower rate of galaxy formation due to variations in the density of matter after the Big Bang. Regardless of the cause, floating within the Buddha's Void would feel like an endless journey through an almost infinite abyss of nothingness. Hot Jupiters are among the most intriguing and unexpected discoveries in the field of exoplanet research. These gas giants bear a resemblance to our own Jupiter in terms of mass and composition, but with one key difference: their blisteringly close proximity to their host stars. Imagine a planet several times the mass of Jupiter, but instead of taking 12 Earth years to complete an orbit around its star, it does so in just a few days. The close orbit of these gas giants means they're exposed to intense heat from their stars, leading them to have daytime temperatures that can soar up to 2,000 degrees Celsius. This is hotter than some stars. This close relationship with their host star also means that hot Jupiters are tidally locked. One side perpetually faces the star, basking in its intense heat, while the other side remains in eternal darkness. This creates a dramatic temperature difference between the two sides. Powerful winds, faster than any on Earth, whip around these planets, transferring heat from the day side to the night side. These winds create storms of unimaginable ferocity, with metallic clouds and rains of molten glass. The existence of hot Jupiters was a surprise to astronomers when first discovered. Traditionally, it was believed that massive gas giants could only form far from their stars, where cold temperatures allowed icy materials to clump together. How did hot Jupiters end up so close to their stars? One leading theory is that they formed farther out and migrated inward over time due to gravitational interactions. Exploring a hot Jupiter would be a lesson in extremes, from its scorching temperatures to its roaring winds and searing storms. A visit to such a planet would expose you to a world where the rules of earthly understanding are dramatically challenged. Magnetars are some of the universe's most extreme objects. Essentially, they're a type of neutron star, remnants left after massive stars explode in spectacular supernovae. While all neutron stars are incredibly dense and possess strong magnetic fields, Magnetars crank up the intensity to levels almost difficult to fathom. A teaspoon of material from a magnetar would weigh about 1 billion tons on Earth. Picture the entire human population condensed into a sugar cube, and you're starting to get a grasp of the staggering density of these objects. But what truly sets magnetars apart from other neutron stars is their magnetic field. These fields are up to 1,000 times stronger than typical neutron stars. To understand this kind of magnetic might, consider this. If a magnetar were located about halfway to the moon, it could strip the information from all the credit cards on Earth. Magnetars are also dynamic and occasionally unpredictable. They can produce what's known as starquakes due to the tension between their immense gravity and their magnetic fields. These starquakes can release gamma-ray flares, which are millions of times more energetic than the most powerful solar flares from our sun. Thankfully, no magnetar is close enough to us to pose a threat. However, a gamma-ray burst directed at Earth from even thousands of light-years away could cause significant harm to our atmosphere and possibly even lead to mass extinctions. Black holes, regions of space where gravity is so strong that nothing can escape, not even light, are enigmatic enough on their own. But sometimes, in the vast cosmic dance of the universe, two black holes find themselves in a close gravitational embrace, leading to the awe-inspiring phenomena of binary black holes. In this cosmic tango, two black holes orbit each other, drawn together by their immense gravitational pull. As they spiral closer and closer, they begin to affect the very fabric of space-time itself. This effect is so intense that it sends ripples across the universe, much like how twirling a finger in water would create ripples across the surface. These ripples, known as gravitational waves, were first theorized by Albert Einstein over a century ago and were finally detected in 2015, marking a groundbreaking moment in our understanding of the universe. The eventual merger of these binary black holes is an event of unimaginable power. When they finally collide and become one, the resulting black hole has slightly less mass than the sum of the two original black holes. The missing mass is converted into energy and radiated out as gravitational waves. In some cases, this energy output can be equivalent to the combined light of all the stars in our galaxy. Observing these mergers offers a rare peek into the dynamic and violent relationships that play out in the universe's dark corners. The dance of binary black holes is a testament to the unimaginable forces and phenomena that shape our cosmos. Rogue planets are the true wanderers of our universe, detached and free, traversing the vast cosmic expanses without the gravitational tether of a star. But what makes these celestial bodies so fascinating is the story of their origin and the mysteries they hold. A typical image of a planetary system involves planets gracefully orbiting a star, bound in a celestial dance that spans billions of years. But sometimes this dance can get a bit chaotic. Gravitational interactions, especially in young and turbulent solar systems, can give a planet enough of a nudge to eject it from its home system. This ejection sets the planet on a lone journey through the interstellar void. Size-wise, rogue planets can range from being as massive as Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, to being as small as Earth or even smaller. And while they lack the warmth of a star, they aren't necessarily devoid of energy or activity. Some rogue planets might still radiate heat from their formation. This residual warmth, combined with potential internal heat-generating processes, means these planets could harbor subsurface oceans. There's also a possibility that life, at least in some primitive form, might exist on these worlds. If a planet was ejected from its system with a thick atmosphere and enough internal heat, it could provide the necessary conditions for life to persist. Rogue planets, given their solitary nature, are difficult to detect. They don't emit their own light, and without a nearby star, they don't reflect light either. However, astronomers have employed ingenious methods, like gravitational microlensing, where the gravity of the rogue planet acts like a lens, amplifying the light of distant stars. Galaxies are colossal collections of stars, gas, dust, and dark matter. They're the fundamental building blocks of the universe's large-scale structure. But galaxies aren't static. They're dynamic entities, constantly in motion, and occasionally their paths cross in a dramatic event known as a galactic collision. Picture this. Two galaxies, each comprising billions of stars, drawing closer and closer due to their mutual gravitational attraction. As they approach, their shapes start to deform, creating long tidal tails of stars and gas stretched out by the immense gravitational forces at play. Over millions of years, these galaxies can merge into a single, larger entity, often resulting in a new galaxy with a unique shape and character. But here's a fascinating fact. Despite the sheer number of stars in these galaxies, the likelihood of two stars directly colliding during a galaxy merger is minuscule. This is because, relative to their sizes, stars are very far apart from each other. Instead of direct stellar collisions, the real action happens in the interstellar medium, the gas and dust between stars. As galaxies collide, these gases can compress, leading to a burst of new star formation, lighting up the merging galaxies like cosmic fireworks. Our own Milky Way is no stranger to this process. In its history, it's believed to have consumed several smaller galaxies, and as mentioned earlier, in the far future, we're set to collide with the Andromeda Galaxy. While this may sound alarming, remember that this event is billions of years away, and when it does happen, it will be a gradual process unfolding over millions of years, not a sudden catastrophe. The resulting merged galaxy, sometimes whimsically referred to as Milkomeda, will be a new chapter in the ongoing saga of cosmic evolution. In the tapestry of the universe, there are threads that we can see and touch, like stars, planets, and galaxies. And then there are threads that remain invisible and intangible, yet they weave the cosmos together in ways we're just beginning to understand. One such thread is dark matter. Dark matter is aptly named, primarily because it doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light. Unlike the stars that twinkle in the night or the planets that reflect sunlight, dark matter remains invisible. So how do we even know it exists if we can't see it? The answer lies in its gravitational influence on the things we can observe. When astronomers look at galaxies, they've noticed something intriguing. The stars at the edges of galaxies move faster than they should, if only the gravity of the galaxy's visible matter were at play. This suggests there's something else, something unseen, exerting its gravitational pull. Through such observations and calculations, scientists deduced the presence of dark matter. In fact, it's believed that around 85% of the matter in the universe is dark matter. But here's the twist. Despite decades of searching and countless experiments, we've yet to directly detect a dark matter particle. Various theories suggest what it might be made of. One leading candidate is the weakly interacting massive particle. These hypothetical particles are believed to interact through weak force, one of the four fundamental forces of nature, but not with electromagnetic force, which means they wouldn't emit or absorb light. The quest to understand dark matter isn't just academic curiosity, it's crucial to our comprehension of the universe. This mysterious substance plays a pivotal role in galaxy formation, cosmic structure, and the overall fate of the cosmos. And as always, we hope you enjoyed our video today. Thanks for watching.